Okay, we're here at the ramp. I just backed my boat up in here. We're here at Cedar Bluff. Is where I've ended up. And I'm gonna put this boat in right here. It looks like an overcast day this morning. It's 15 till 7. Pretty out here, but we're gonna slide this Bessie in here. Launcher. This old well's ready to catch fish. I just hope we can find some here. I've never ever fished for crappie in this area before. That's why I wanted to come on up here. This is either going to be a success or a failure. That's part of fishing. You know, you can't limit yourself. I've always said that. Really, I'd like to fish in all kinds of different lakes. That's how much I like fishing. But it's pretty this morning. But it is overcast. And I hope the weatherman's right. I hope I have a window of opportunity to fish today. And folks, I want to say something about Weiss Lake. Now, Weiss Lake is actually a pretty dangerous lake. If you don't know how to run it, you know, you need you a good lake map. It's a very dangerous lake. It's shallow, stumpy. You have to really know where the creek channels are to run it properly, because if you don't, if you just now fish in this lake or intend on coming up here, be very careful. Okay, let's idle on up here towards the bridge, and first thing I want to do is see how deep the crappie are. Okay, we're on our way to the bridge, and the surface temperature is 81 degrees. Okay, that's pretty hot. So I already know, folks, from experience this time of year, that the fish is going to be anywhere from 7 to 8 feet and possibly all the way down to 20. Okay, with the water temperature, that's in my opinion. We'll see how that pans out. But that's probably the depth of water that I'm going to start off in. And when I get on up here to the bridge, I'm going to focus how deep the crappie, the shad are running. In other words, I'm looking for the thermocline. All right, let's sit down here and get going. Okay, I'm up here at the bridge now. Real deep water right in here. And I'm hearing some shad sound off. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is figure out how deep they are. And they're pretty close to the surface. Okay, they're showing anywhere from 5 to 6 foot deep. And I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 6 columns right here. Now this is vertical structure. This is where I use the technique vertical jigging when I'm looking for fish. It's just a pattern. There can be several patterns on any lake at any given time to catch crappie, but this is one of my favorite ways right here. Okay, we're going to get on in here and we're going to check the depth of the water. On each one of these columns, we're going to see if there's shad present and see if we can find out if there's some crappie using this area or not. Let's shut her down and start dissecting. Okay, I'm easing to the back side of this column right here. There's a significant amount of current right here, so they're pulling water. I'm right here on the second column, and then water depth is 15 feet. So I'm gonna pitch in here and let this jig down. And I see a fish right there behind me at about 14 foot. But I think the fish is probably about 9 to 10 foot, we'll see. And I'm using a bait caster now with an Aries rod, real limber rod. It's 6 foot long. And using a Bobby Garland jig. The name of the jig is Hot Lips. Okay. And I'm gonna try right around in here just a little bit. Okay. And see what we can do. There we go. That feels like a crappie. And it is. Well, maybe we found them here. Let's get down here and lift this fish. There we go. That's a big fish too. Big crappie. Quit. Okay. He bent that hook. Look at there. That's a good fish right there. Good start right here. That's about a 12.5-inch crappie. Good fish. Let's let him go. Tell you what, may have something going right here. I don't know why that hook bent like that. I think I bent it out a little bit too much to start with. I was fortunate to catch that fish. That's fishing. This is real life fishing, folks. Okay, let's look at this depth finder. You know, I was talking all this stuff a while ago and I meant what I said. Let's look at this. Okay. Little cheap depth finder here. It's a little hummingbird, but it's a good one. See, we're in 16 feet of water. Now, if you notice right here, you'll see some fish right here. These fish is right by the column. So they're actually about 14 foot. See these rises right here? Okay. They're about 2 foot off the bottom. And that's where the fish are. There we go. Crappie number 2. Come on in here. There we go. All right. We got us a little something going right here. You know. That's a good fish there. Beautiful fish here at Weiss Lake. Pretty good pattern we're on right here. Pretty good pattern. I'm just throwing it in behind that column. Letting it sink on down there to where the fish is. Around 12 feet. There we go. Oh my goodness, what a striped nose crappie. Hope I get that fish in there. Ooh, that's a big old striped nose. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I want to talk about you, boy. Don't do it. Look at here. Whew. I'm sorry, fish. Now he inhaled that jig. There we go. Ain't gonna hurt him. Okay. Striped nose again. Over here on the other side of the lake. Okay. I've been calling them a striped nose crappie. But look how pretty that predominant stripe is right there. I just love this stuff. I love it. But look here. Under his chin, he's got a marking here. And call it a striped nose crappie, but really it's called a black nose crappie. But you know, it's more like a stripe than his nose being black. That's just an opinion, but let's let him go. Okay, now that was fun. Let's try this again. I'm gonna try with a different jig, different color right here. Let's change up colors. This is a Bobby Garland. This color here is called Twilight. The last color I used was called Monkey Milk. Big difference in these two colors, but I just want to see if it'll work. I know there's some fish down there to be caught. And the day's kind of getting a little bit darker. There he is. Twilight. That's another good fish. For this time of the year, these are good fish right here. Let me lip him. Come here. There he is. That's just a black crappie. It tickles me to catch a striped-nosed crappie or black-nosed crappie. I don't know why. I'm just like a kid. Let's let him go. My goodness, I'm having fun right here. Now, I've had questions about overcast days. It don't matter. Crappie, it doesn't really matter to me whether it's an overcast day or sunny. They just position a little bit different sometimes. But it's more enjoyable when it's this hotter weather to fish, when it's overcast for the angler. But what I'm saying is it don't matter to the crappie, in my opinion. So if anything, it may change the depth, you know, of where the crappie will be sometimes. But let's catch another one. There he is. While I was talking, I was walking. Good fish right here. Good fish, good fish, good fish. I've got this school of fish fired up. Okay, you can fire them up. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Here. Yeah. Hard to handle sometimes. That's a good fish right here. Whew. Look at there. That fish is close to 13 inches. My goodness, I'm having a ball, folks. Y'all get out here and do this kind of stuff here. I mean, if you don't like the vertical jig, you don't have to. I mean, you can get on these break lines and things of that nature and find you an irregularity in it and find you a school of fish and sit on top of them and catch them. But it's just a technique that I enjoy right here, because it don't matter to me how I catch them, as long as I catch them. There we go. Getting windy, and these fish are a little bit tough to feel. That's why I like this high-vis line. This is a good fish right here. I'm just gonna take my time right here. Got him hooked right in the nose. That's a good place. There he is. I get them in any way I can. A lot of people says, why don't you use a net? Well, I want to give these crappie a sporting chance. It's a good fish too. Very good fish. Let's let him go. I tell you what, I'm having a lot of fun out here at Weiss Lake. There he is. I moved right here. What do we got right here, Elmo? This is a crappie. It's a big one. That's a spotted bass. But I moved to a different column. Boy, it's giving me a fit on this little line. Ooh, Coosa River spot right here. That happy spot when you're fishing for crappie over here. God, what a chunk. It's a nice fish. That fish hit that quick, boy. Put him in the boat. What I done right here is changed to a 1/24 of an ounce jig with a sickle hook. Okay, there he is. It's about a 10-inch or better crappie. Let's let that one go. And I'm using a bait caster. It got windy after this thunderstorm that come through, so I had to tie to this column. And the winds that's pushing it made it real rough out here, so I tied to this column. Okay, and I'm vertical jigging a 1/24 of an ounce jig right here with a bait caster. 4-pound test line. It is another way of fishing with a Hot Lips Bobby Garland. And I had to go to a heavier jig head to get down there, count the wind. And I'm just vertical jigging. I'm using an Aries rod. It's real limber, it's 6 foot long, with a loose speed spook bait casting reel. Let's catch another one. There we go. That fish is deep. That feels like a good crappie here. Got a sickle hook on here. I like sickle hooks when conditions like this changes. Let's just flip him on in here. Let me talk about that just a little bit. There he is. That's a good summer crappie. Let him go. Now, the water depth here is 16 feet. Okay. Now, this is what messes some fishermen up. It does me. It's gotten more overcast. Okay, a storm come through, but yet the fish went deeper. You would think they would shallow up, but that's not always the case. Many times it is. That's why you have to try different depths. Now, I'm fishing here at the same spot, studying these fish. Okay, now I'm to the bottom. In other words, my jig is laying on the bottom. I'm reeling up about 2 foot off the bottom, okay? So I've changed my way of fishing. I'm hopping, I'm pulling the jig up, letting it fall. Just like that. Now this is a simplified way of vertical jigging, but I'm letting the jig fall on a slack line. In other words, when the jig falls, it's probably spinning a little bit. Well, I know it is. And that's what triggers a strike in the summer, especially in the summer and fall. That fall rate needs to be pretty slow, but that's where you need to use different jigs, weights, to figure out how fast or slow of a fall they need. Okay, but let's fish around here and catch us another one. Trigger a strike. There we go. He picked it up right off the side of the column right there. I was doing that little bumping, grazing thing that I do. Pretty good fish right here, real good fish. There's another good one. I tell you, Weiss Lake has imposed a 10-inch minimum size limit on these crappie, and they've done justice. These crappie are starting to get bigger and more plentiful than what they used to be. Let's let that fish go. Whew. Okay, let's try that trick again. What do we got? God, Mom, what a crappie. This is the biggest of the day, and it's a stripe nose. Put him in the boat, Elmer. Look there, what a stripe nose crappie, folks. That's a big one. That jig just fell out. I didn't get a good hook set, obviously, but look how beautiful fish right there. or black nose crappie is the right name. Let's let him go. It's a good fish. White Lake, Alabama. Poor old Wilmer. Okay, folks, that's the end of her day. But something a little bit different. Yeah, a bait caster. This is a Lew's Speed Spool. It's a small, very small reel with an Arius rod. That's AIRRUS. Real limber, 6-foot rod. And I have 4-pound test Mr. Crappie on it. And used a monkey milk Bobby Garland, okay, with a sickle hook. That was one way. The next, of course, is my Eagle Claw rod right here with a spinning reel. Both ways will work. But if it gets a little bit windy, a little system comes through or something like that, try that bait casting outfit. You might be surprised. But you know, everything that I do on this channel is only based on opinions. There's many good fishermen out there, as y'all well know, and you're probably one of them. We all have our own techniques and ideals. These are just mine. And thank you for the views and good comments. And remember, let me try to be normal this time. Go fishing when you can. Hey, it's hard to do. Whoa. Okay. Because it's good for you. See you next time. That's right. I will.